Oh boy. Mascot indie horror games have had many expansions over the years since August 8th of 2014 when the initial Mascot indie horror game released, Five Nights at Freddy's. Other companies' eyes began to wander after seeing that Markiplier and MatPat both played it, who were two big YouTubers at the time and still are today. November 11th, 2014, 3 months after the first game, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 released. This game was bigger than the first. Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, decided to do the unthinkable and try to end the franchise in March of 2015 with Five Nights at Freddy's 3. But the franchise was out of control. Scott could not stop the monster he had made. He tried one more time with the fourth installment in July 2015. Fans were not satisfied with the story, and from here on out, Five Nights at Freddy's could not be stopped. Five Nights at Freddy's sister location released in 2016 with a 9 out of 10 rating later on Steam. Tiny Build saw the success and capitalized with a 2016 pre-release of a game called Hello Neighbor. The game was a cool concept, an AI learning from the player's actions. It was cool, and like an old elderly person, all good things must come to an end. MatPat picked up on the Tiny Build hit game and made a theory on Hello Neighbor. This is exactly what the Tiny Build devs wanted. Tiny Build became greedy and chased the lore to get a game theory from MatPat, and the full game released a broken mess in December of 2017. This made people not want to play the game, and eventually the game died off despite more theory chase attempts. Other game studios saw the fumbled bag that Tiny Build had and jumped onto it like a bunch of linebackers tackling a woman who wanted to be a running back for the high school football team. They just needed to replicate it. The companies found that secret formula they needed. They need a recognizable mascot that can appeal to kids with some type of lore and twisted aspect to it. In February of 2017, Joey Drew Studios released Bindi and the Ink Machine, and people loved it. But we'll get back to this later. The year's 2021. It has been years since the last Mascot indie horror game has released. People really didn't consider this genre as Mascot indie horror. It was just FNAF, Bindi and the Ink Machine, and that weird game about the neighbor. You're chilling, you go on your phone to watch some YouTube, and you see the game Poppy Playtime that was released by Mob Games in 2021. It was a return to more horror, as Five Nights at Freddy's games were getting more associated with kids. Kids love Five Nights at Freddy's even more than they like their Prime Energy today, and that's saying something. It was the new horror game. People played it, and people loved it. But this is not without controversy. In 2022, Mob Games made their biggest mistake in their career, as they released a controversial NFT collection that had attached lore. People got turned off by it, including MatPat, who called out Mob Games for this, and called it another Hello Neighbor, just trying to get a bag of money and leaving. Bindi and the Ink Machine seemed to be the only successor to Five Nights at Freddy's in the Mascot indie horror game genre. This is where the cheap trash bags of games come in. Garden of Banban and some other games. I'm not going to even name them or even go into them. They're just that bad. They don't deserve the attention. They're like that one kid who just begs for attention and you just ignore him, you know? Five Nights at Freddy's has been working on a movie for quite some time, and in October of 2023 was when Blumhouse released their Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It was a big success. It made loads of money. And Poppy Playtime agreed with some executives with another movie company to get another movie deal after the Five Nights at Freddy's movie's big success. Bindi, after the Five Nights at Freddy's movie release, also got a movie deal because the Five Nights at Freddy's movie just did that well. People hated Poppy Playtime for having a movie being made only a year after its Chapter 2 launch, but things went on. And after all these games, we land in present day, 2024, and things are looking gloom for Mascot indie horror. The only thing that matters is you and your opinion. If you continue to fund these cheap games, they're going to continue making them. If you only fund the good ones, then they'll stop. You're the only one that matters. It's your decision. And if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. And this is all. Pumpkin Flasher, signing out.